Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, this video is going to be in two parts. So first, I am going to bring you this video that I am doing now, detailing how Femi Adesina, Malam Buhari's spokesperson, is on his knees begging new Chief of Staff Ibrahim Gambari, Malam Buhari's new Chief of Staff Ibrahim Gambari. So that is this video now. So in the next video I shall be detailing and in his own words showing you why Femi Adesina is on his knees begging Ibrahim Gambari. But first guys, I bring you this. President Buhari's spokesperson Femi Adesina makes desperate moves to mend relationship with new Chief of Staff to President Gambari 12 years after damning newspaper article on him. So that's the rather stretched out headline that we're contending with. President Buhari's spokesperson Femi Adesina makes desperate moves to mend relationship with new Chief of Staff to the President Gambari 12 years after damning newspaper article on him. So now let's now find out what sort of begging is going on here. Worried by the dust raised by a newspaper article he wrote against Professor Ibrahim Gambari, new Chief of Staff to President Muhammadu Buhari in 2008, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, is said to have adopted a new way to repair any sort of damage that the article might have caused his relationship with the ex-United Nations diplomat. According to informed Aso Rock sources, Adesina, knowing the importance of the office Gambari now occupies in the President Buhari administration, has been writing persuasive articles but using the names of other persons to push them out to the public in a desperate move to soften the heart of the new Chief of Staff and make him forgive and forget the incident of the past. Sources also said that Adesina has been using Aso Rock mail distribution list to circulate the articles in order for them to hit maximum reach. Recall that Adesina had in his column on Saturday, July 12, 2008 in the Sun newspaper said Gambari enslaved himself to please his paymasters by defending the hanging of Ken Saro-Wiwa and others by the late General Sani Abacha military regime. He wrote, Gambari enslaved himself to please his paymasters. Now, 13 years later, after the shackles are still tied around his neck, threatening to asphyxiate him, what an eternal lesson for fawning bootlicking grovellers to learn. Old sins indeed have long shadows. However, in one damage control article seen on Wednesday, the writer, believed to be Adesina but hiding under another identity, whilst justifying the 2008 missile to Gambari, wished both presidency officials a good working relationship in the serving of President Buhari and Nigeria. The article expressed optimism that Adesina would find it easy to get along with the new Chief of Staff, whom was encouraged to allow the past to slip away forever. The article reads partly, President Buhari and Adesina are great friends who deeply respect each other. For Buhari, Adesina is a bosom friend united in their quest for a new Nigeria. When Adesina's mother passed on in the days of our struggles for his enthronement, General Buhari attended her funeral. You can count the times he has honored anyone in that manner on your fingers. To underscore their bond, it may interest you to recall that Adesina was the very first person given appointment by President Buhari after he assumed office in 2015. I was notified as soon as Adesina arrived at Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. I am certain Adesina would find it very easy to get along with Professor Ibrahim Gambari as Chief of Staff because they are united in their resolve to give the president the best of themselves. Adesina, being a cultured Yoruba man and a good Christian, will respect and support Professor Gambari not only as a matter of duty but in conformity with cultural etiquette of according elders respect due our parents and biblically as though serving God. So this is now this guy. So I'm pausing for a moment, of course, to interject. So this is now this additional. So this is literally a man now on his knees begging, please sir, forgive me sir. So this is because the whole article, of course, this whole piece is a please sir, forgive me sir, but especially now this paragraph, which I shall reread to you. So if I reread it now, have in mind what I've just said, that this is a please sir, forgive me sir. This is a man on his knees saying, please sir, forgive me sir. So have that in mind, and I shall reread this, and then if it doesn't tally with what I've just said, let me know in the comment section. So if it doesn't read to you as a man on his knees saying, please sir, forgive me sir, then you can tell me in the comment section. And this is where it says exactly, please sir, forgive me sir. So yeah, of course it's not saying it literally, but if you read and understand, because of course when somebody is saying something, it is not what they are, it is not the words that they are saying to you that you are listening to, but the message that is being conveyed. And the message that is being conveyed, especially in this whole article, but encapsulated in this particular paragraph, is a man on his knees saying, please sir, forgive me sir. So let me take that again. Adesina, being a cultured Yoruba man and a good Christian, so is already using the guy's middle name, Ibrahim Gambari. Say, I'm Yoruba too. If you're a little bit Yoruba, you know our culture, and a good Christian, so is using God, that is now begging in the name of God. So Adesina, being a cultured Yoruba man and a good Christian, will respect and support Gambari not only as a matter of duty, so that's another beg right there, but in conformity with cultural etiquette, another beg of according elders respect due our parents. So now you are my daddy, that is, you are my daddy. And biblically, so this is now the in the name of God that is now using to beg, and biblically as though serving God. So you can see already now that's a man on his knees begging. But let's carry on. Nothing will obstruct that, not any mischievous reference to an old article. I am quite certain that the article would not impact on Professor Gambari's attitude to Adesina as a thoroughbred academic for whom criticism is a norm, and as a cosmopolitan world citizen who has waded through many troubled waters seeking peace across the world during his stint as a super diplomat and Under-Secretary General with the United Nations. I wish both Professor Gambari, our father, our teacher, and my brother, Adesina, a good working relationship in the service of President Buhari and Nigeria. According to sources, since the death of Buhari's former Chief of Staff Abakari, Adesina and fellow presidency spokesperson Gabashewu have found their stay at the villa shaky. Shehu had a well-published standoff with First Lady Mrs. Aisha Buhari in December 2019, where she accused him of causing crisis in the first family. On the other hand, Adesina's position has become under intense threat following the emergence of Gambari, who he once tore into shreds in his newspaper article. With Kyari gone, the protection both men enjoyed in the villa by being loyal to him has since been stripped of them, thereby exposing them to any type of attack. It was gathered that more of such strategic and fence-mending articles will surface in the coming days and weeks as Adesina desperately tries to settle old scores with the occupier of one of the most powerful offices in the country today, Gambari. So a man on his knees begging is effectively what we have here. This is now, because you have to stand by your words. If you are of the view that this guy is a no good, especially off the back of the Ken Saro-Wiwa narrative, then you have to stand by that. Adesina has had 4 or 5 good years in that office, and it should have accumulated enough, it should have amassed enough money now to set himself for life. So he has gotten all of the things that he could have gotten from that position. So he should then not then be on his knees begging this guy, and he should just say, okay, let the chips fall where they may. And even if he was a man of honor, he would just resign and say, due to family commitments, I have enjoyed serving the president, I will continue to serve him from the sideline, but now due to other commitments that are more immediate and personal, I have to step back from the so he could have just, if he had any honor or integrity in him, he would have resigned his position, because this is a man that he has damned with such a finality, with such final condemnation in 2008, now coming in to sit on top of him as his boss. So you either stand on your feet or you live on your knees. Adesina, of course, has now chosen to live on his knees now with this beggy forgive me sir articles that is now popping in pseudonyms all over the media space within Nigeria. But then, of course, this Gambari guy, it doesn't strike me as a very forgiving guy. And by the way, this Gambari guy, he wouldn't really want people that were loyal to his predecessors still in place when he comes into office. So he is most likely to do his own thing, to clear the deck and put his own man as the spokesperson for Malam Buhari, or for himself, because he, of course, is now the new president of Nigeria. So he will put his own man there who will be loyal to him, because Adesina is too long in the tooth in that position, and his relationship. This is one of the reasons, by the way, why that article started with all of the narrations of the relationship between Adesina and Buhari, to the point of saying that Buhari came to the burial of his mother. So it's somewhat subliminally threatening the guy that, look, my relationship with Baba is very strong, so don't think you can just come and push me aside. It will be a real battle. Baba came to my... So this is what he's saying with that. And this article, of course, is geared entirely to Ibrahim Gambari. But then, of course, as this article went on to say, Ibrahim Gambari, for all of his failings, is a savvy man, is an internationally experienced man, is a man that has functioned in the regions of crisis and managing high-functioning people for over 3-4 decades. So this is a hugely internationally experienced person. So I don't think how some Amala munching guy called Adesina would think he was going to outwit this guy with the article. So the decisions on Adesina's position is entirely Gambari's to make. So the decision that Gambari is going to make is one, to weigh Adesina to see if he's going to be compliant and bent to his will. And you can bet your bottom dollar that as he's weighing Adesina will even drop his trousers if Gambari says drop your trouser, because he has to prove himself 100% now, more so than he had to do with Abakari, because they all came in fresh. But now he's a loyalist to somebody else, and somebody else has come in, so he has now to prove himself. So Gambari will weigh him in that measure. Then Gambari would weigh the relationship between Adesina and Buhari, and Gambari will also weigh the impact of letting Adesina go, and then he will weigh all of these things then to make a decision on letting Adesina go or not. But if he doesn't let Adesina go, he will certainly almost micromanage him, to the point that he will be calling him to his office to say, why did you say this and why did you say that, to tame him and remold him and just whittle. The way they emasculated Osibanjo effectively is how they are going to emasculate, especially Gambari is going to emasculate Adesina now, because Gambari cannot have a rogue element in his regime running riot and doing as he wills. So begging article or no begging article, TikTok tick-tock. The clock is ticking for Femi Adesina. What says you? Conversations in the comment section. The chess play, the three-dimensional chess play, that is the eternal narrative of the Nigerian space. So another player has come in, and all of the pawns and all of the knights are quivering. But quiver they can, and shake they should, and they should shiver as well. But this guy, of course, will make the decisions. Come share thoughts. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Then come tell me what you are making of this beggy article that Femi Adesina is putting out in the media space under a pseudonym in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace.